What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the video. And like many of you, I'm stuck at home, quarantined because of the coronavirus pandemic, and that has made me switch up my training split. So in this video, I want to walk you through my at-home training split. Now, I am fortunate enough, I'm in a kind of different situation than most of you watching this probably are, that many years ago, 5-6 years ago, when I was first getting into lifting, I purchased a ton of like old, rusty, used weights, and they've been sitting in my parents' basement for the longest time. So now being at home, I am still able to get decent workouts in with those weights. All it really is like a rusty old barbell, a few adjustable dumbbell handles, and a bench. So it gets the job done, and that is what I will be using for this training program that I'm going to be following moving forward. The style of the split is a full body training split. So every day that I train, I'll be hitting each body part with like 1 or 2 exercises. I'll be training just about every day. Now you can tailor this if you want to follow this program. You can tailor this to however many days you want to train. This could be a 6 days a week program where you just take an off day wherever you want. This could be a 5 days a week program that you take 2 off days any of the days. It could be Saturday and Sunday. It could be you take an off day on Sunday, another one on Wednesday or Thursday. It could be a 4-day a week program where you do Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday with the rest of the days off. It could be a 3-day program where you just do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Whatever works for you, whatever stage of your training journey you're on is definitely flexible for anyone. But for me, I will be doing this as a 6-day-a-week program, but again, it can be done anywhere from 3 to 6 days a week. And the reason it's flexible is because there will be 2 training days. So just have a day A and a day B. You just alternate back and forth between them. They're pretty standard. So even if it's a 6-day program, I'll do day A, day B, A, B, A, B. If it's a 5-day program, it would be A, B, A, B, A, and then starting next week, it would be B, A, B, A, B. So it's simple enough just to alternate between day A and day B and rest days whenever you need them. Other details about this training program, if you would like to follow along with it, for each of these exercises, I would recommend 3 to 4 sets. Maybe 2 to 3 if you're really on the beginner end, but either way, about 3 to 4 sets per exercise would be great. I'm going to do 4 sets per each exercise. That's probably what I would recommend for more of the advanced lifters. Even 5 sets per exercise if you're really on the advanced end. Might be pushing it a bit, but that would work. For the number of reps per set, I recommend doing as many reps until you get to about 1 or 2 reps shy of failure. So I'm not even going to count reps for any of this. I don't have a crazy amount of weight anyway, so tracking weights and progression and reps is not going to be the best either way. So what I recommend to get sufficient energy expenditure for each set is just to go until you feel like you probably have like 1 or 2 more reps, grind reps in the tank. And finally, rest times I keep very short because this is a full body training program. Just trying to stay active, stay fit. I try to keep the rest times pretty short. So anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds is probably the most. Keeps my heart rate up, keeps my energy going, keeps my body temperature warm, and gets me feeling like I'm having a good workout. Those are the details. Those are the things to know. Now I'll walk you through this training program. Day 1, first exercise is going to be the barbell bench press, and this is going to be our chest focused exercise for this day. I prefer doing this exercise at a slight incline because I feel a little better of a stretch and a contraction on the movement. It helps me to target the upper portion of my chest a little bit, which is what I'm going for, but pretty simple. Tuck the shoulders back, elbows not all the way flared out. Bring the bar down to about the nipple, sternum area, and pressing back up. If you want to follow along this program and you only have dumbbells available, this could easily be transferred to a dumbbell bench press. And also, if you don't have any kind of like bench available, any kind of flat surface that is about torso width, something like a camping cooler would work great all the same. Next up, we've got goblet squats, which would be a leg focused exercise, probably more focused on the quads. I will grab a dumbbell under one side of the dumbbell and hold it under my chin. I keep my feet around shoulder width apart with my heels slightly elevated for just comfort's sake, and do a pretty standard squat. I find that as long as you don't go crazy heavy on the dumbbell, which will add a little extra stress on your lower back, this is, I find, a pretty comfortable squat exercise. Third exercise will be dumbbell rows. This will be our back focused exercise. We're going to do this one arm at a time, so the other arm will be bracing against something. I would put that something around thigh level off the ground, bracing with one arm against that. And there's a few stances that you could do this in, but I enjoy bracing with one arm, slightly staggered stance with the rowing side leg slightly back, keeping the back straight, core tight, and we are rowing towards the hip area, towards down and back towards the hip. This will help hit the lats rather than your upper back or traps, and will reduce pulling with just the biceps. Next exercise, we're doing a barbell Romanian deadlift. This will again be a leg focused exercise. We're targeting more of the hamstrings. I am standing with my feet just inside shoulder width, holding the bar however is comfortable, keeping my back straight, pushing my hips back, and keeping my legs locked with a slight bend. Just letting the bar drag down close to my legs, keeping that bar close to my legs down towards the ankles. I'll only go as far as I feel a nice stretch, and then push my hips forward, keeping my back straight and standing upright again. Again, this could easily be done as a dumbbell movement as well. Next up, we've got dumbbell lateral raises. This will be our shoulder movement for day A. I like to keep this somewhat light on the dumbbells to reduce messing up my shoulders, keeping good form, but arms at my sides, slightly bent but locked, and trying to kind of scoop my arms out to the sides, pulling upwards at the elbows rather than with my hands, up to around shoulder height, and then controlling the weight back down. Next, we've got dumbbell overhead extensions, which will be our triceps focused exercise. You can do these seated or standing. I have this nice seat here with a back that is slightly leaned back, which is a comfortable position for me. Just bring the dumbbells overhead, keep my elbows locked, and lower the weights down to the side back area of my head and pressing back up. Again, this is meant to be a single joint movement, so trying to keep the elbows locked as much as possible and just extending. And last exercise for this day will be a standard dumbbell biceps curl. Obviously, hitting the biceps here. I prefer to do these both arms at the same time and keeping my palms supinated or facing up the whole time. I find this gives me a better mind-muscle connection and stretch and contraction. But again, trying to keep the elbows locked and curling the weight up, squeeze at the top, and controlling on the way down. Now on to day 2. Like I said before, this will just be the alternating day that you will switch back and forth with the first day. We will start this one off with dumbbell overhead press. So starting off with a compound shoulder focus movement for this day. I prefer to do these seated, but they can be standing as well. Kick the dumbbells up to right above my shoulders, elbows not all the way flared out, slightly tucked, and we're pressing straight up and maybe slightly back. A good cue for this is to put your head through the window, or simply tucking your head forward as you press the weight up and then controlling the weight back down to around ear level. Second exercise will be sumo squats. This will be a leg focused exercise, and what it will target, the quads, the hamstrings, kind of depends on your stance. I prefer more of a narrow stance, which will target the quads a little more, but you can go wider and get more of a standard sumo, which would hit your hamstrings a bit more. But with both hands on the dumbbell handle, holding it between my legs, again, heels elevated just for comfort's sake, and again, a pretty standard squat movement. Just another way to load essentially the same movement. Next exercise, we're doing barbell high rows, which will be our back focused exercise. For this, I'm intentionally trying to row the bar towards my sternum area rather than my hip to target more the upper back and traps area of my back. So bent over around 90 degrees, back straight, core tight, hips pushed back. I'm definitely flaring my elbows more on this one, which will help squeeze the upper back more, and then controlling on the way down. This one could also be easily done with a pair of dumbbells. Next up, we've got reverse lunges. This is going to be another leg focused movement, likely more hitting the quads. I'll hold the dumbbells at my sides and step backwards with one leg, not super far back, but close enough to where when I drop my hips down into a lunge, my front leg is close to a 90-degree angle and maybe a bit closer. The shorter the stride on this, the more quad focused it will be. But stepping back into a lunge, dropping my hips down and focusing on pressing back up through just the front leg, back to a standing position, and then alternating legs. Next up, we'll do dumbbell chest flies, which will be, of course, our chest focus movement for this day. Again, I prefer this at a slight incline because I like the feel and I'm trying to target the upper portion of the chest more. I make sure to keep my shoulders pinned back on this one to keep everything safe there, but trying to open up my chest on the way down until I feel a comfortable stretch, not too far, and then trying to bring my arms back to the center of my body at the top, usually not to the point of touching the dumbbells. Next, we've got dumbbell kickbacks. This will be our triceps focused exercise. You can do this both arms, but I prefer to do one at a time, pushing my hips back and bending over towards 90 degrees. I like to brace with my other arm on my legs or just on whatever. For my working arm, I've got my elbow tucked at my side, trying to keep that locked in place, and then just extending my arm back and up to feel a nice squeeze in the triceps at the top before lowering the weight back down, still keeping that elbow in place. And lastly, on this day, we've got what is supposed to be a dumbbell hammer curl, but I guess I got messed up and just did normal curls again when I was recording this. But hammer curls are pretty similar, just with a neutral grip. So holding the dumbbells with your palms facing inward. So same thing, elbows at your sides, curling the weight up and controlling on the way down. Mostly simple bread and butter exercises here, doing what we can, which gets the job done. Full body exercises, 2 of them that we just alternate back and forth however many days a week you want. This can work for beginners to advanced lifters, and this is what I will be doing moving forward in my home gym. Hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and let me know if you might be testing this training program out. I feel for anyone out there who has lost their gym membership, who doesn't have anything at home. Just do what you can. Staying active during this time is great, not only for physical health, but mental health. Exercise is a great stress reliever. It's good for you overall. So make sure to stay active, to stay in shape, and to stay healthy during this time. Be safe, be well. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. That's all I got today. Thanks so much for watching that I just said before. See you in the next one.